Hey everyone, this is J-Dog, and I'm here with another video. We all know who this is, but for those who don't, this is Governor of California, Gavin Newsom. Recently, Dianne Feinstein, one of the senators of California, has passed on due to health concerns due to her age and her health. She has passed away recently, and so, instead of a special election, Gavin Newsom, because he's a Democrat and wants to make sure that the Democrats can easily maintain their majority in the Senate, and to avoid a risk of a special election where a Republican can just easily try to win, he decided to just appoint a Democrat to fill in and replace the seat for Dianne Feinstein. Now, because he does this, this is an interim senator, because next year that seat is actually up for grabs in the upcoming presidential election, where all the seats the House of Representatives are up for grabs, because, however, only a small number, at least half at most, of the Senate seats are up for grabs, because the Senate seats is every 6 years and the House of Representatives seats are every 2 years. The president's, of course, is 4 years. And after 6 years, I think since, I believe it was the 2018 midterm election, that was the last time that Dianne Feinstein, or should I say the late Dianne Feinstein's seat was up for grabs, so it will be up for grabs next year. However, he is currently appointing an interim senator who will still most likely will have to defend that seat if that individual wants to stay in next year in the presidential election, or which some of the Senate seats will be up for grabs, including that particular seat. The individual that Gavin Newsom has appointed is this woman named Laphonza Butler. She makes history as the first black LGBT female to take the Senate. The last quote-unquote black woman is the biracial, half-Asian black woman Kamala Harris, was the last black female to be in the U.S. Senate. Of course, we know that Kamala Harris is now the current Vice President of the United States. Not to mention, this woman, Laphonza Butler, was a member of the campaign cabinet of Kamala Harris when Kamala Harris was actually trying to run for president. Of course, Kamala Harris failed, and the only way that she got into that Oval Office or somewhere near it was if Joe Biden took Kamala Harris in as his running mate, in which when he won, she became the vice president. But here's the thing, why did they pick this woman? Yes, I want more black representatives in Congress, but I want to make sure that they actually try to help the black community, because we know that, unfortunately, that's what they're not doing. The black politicians are not helping the black community. Not to mention, this woman is kind of a failure, because she failed to help Kamala Harris win the presidency. Why did they pick a failure when they could have picked someone who was more successful, like Barbara Lee? Barbara Lee is in the House of Representatives representing California, and actually is planning on switching from the House of Representatives into the U.S. Senate if she wins the election next year. for the seat that Dianne Feinstein. She was going to challenge Dianne Feinstein, but because we all know what happened to Dianne Feinstein, so now Barbara Lee is going to have to challenge her in the primary and or even the general election. And I say this because the voting over there in California is a little different than some of the other states, where even two Democrats can face each other in the general election. You think it's a primary, but it's actually a general election. But, and matter of fact, the Congressional Black Caucus, some younger people in both the House and Senate actually suggested that Barbara Lee was picked, where Barbara Lee can automatically already be in the Senate seat. Now, Gavin Newsom says that he didn't pick Barbara Lee because he knew that Barbara Lee was running. He didn't want to give Barbara Lee an advantage for other candidates, so he wanted to pick someone who was not running that could be at least the interim, which is LaPonza Butler, and then she could decide whether she wants to run for re-election, where she can definitely become a legit senator or something. She'll be able to have the voting power right now, even though she's technically interim. But I think there's another reason why Gavin Newsom wanted to pick her. He knows that all she's going to do is cater to the Democrats. But what I also think why he picked that this man, Gavin Newsom, picked that lady is because, a number of reasons. Number one, because the Democrats have not done really enough for the black community. They know that they're losing black voters, so he's trying to win them back by putting a black lady in office. And particularly in the Senate. Number two, because she is LGBT also, he needs to make sure he also gets that LGBT vote. Both the black vote and the LGBT vote are two of the top voting bases of the Democratic Party. Number three, he kind of wants to help Biden out. But I think it's already too late for Jim Crow Joe Biden. Joe Biden is failing, and it's most likely he is going to lose even to someone like Trump or even DeSantis or Nikki Haley. Number four, Gavin Newsom is planning to run for president very soon. Matter of fact, if he wants to, he could actually primary Biden and try to run next year. But he kind of doesn't think he's going to beat Biden. But he wants to be prepared for 2028 and 2032. He knows he needs the black vote because he actually is losing black voters as well because of his stance on cash payment reparations. He doesn't believe in cash payment reparations. But guess what? I hope black people don't fall for the okie doke. Because like I just said it just a few seconds ago. He doesn't believe in us getting reparations. He doesn't want to give us a hate crime bill that protects black people. So why should we vote for Gavin Newsom? Now he thinks that by putting in this woman, LaPonza Butler, he could at least get some black voters, maybe some black women or some black LGBT members to voting for him, because he's going to be like, hey, vote for me. I put in a black LGBT woman in the Senate. You got to vote for me. But I just mentioned earlier, you don't believe in us getting cash payment reparations. You're not trying to help us get us anything. You're helping California get flooded by so-called migrants, which could outnumber the black vote. But he knows, he wants to become president. He knows that both Biden and Trump, if they win in 2024, they will only have one more term. That means in 2028, even if Trump was to win, even if Trump wins in 2024, because Trump is using a second term, he is not going to be able to run for re-election because it's a 2-term limit. Biden will be too old, too sick to even continue. And even if he wins 2024, he might not stay. Biden might not even stay in the White House. He probably will just resign during his second term, if he gets a second term, and let Kamala Harris finish the job. That's why I said earlier, 2028 or 2032. Hell, maybe 2036. If he waits on Kamala Harris to try to do 2 terms, then he'll finally try to step in. Or maybe he'll at least try to become a vice president or somehow. But yeah, Gavin Newsom, he's been thinking about going to the Oval Office, which means the White House. And he wants to put in some of the same policies that he's put as the California governor. So now he wants to expand his political career. But he doesn't want to go to the Congress, whether he be a senator or a House of Representatives. He wants to shoot all the way to the presidency, to the president, to being president, to the Oval Office. And he knows what he's got to do to get the votes needed to get elected. And he thinks he can use this woman to try to get black people back into increasing the numbers in favor of the Democrats. That's why we cannot fall for the okie doke. As much as I want, people want to celebrate her being put in the Senate, but I think she's being used, and I think she doesn't know this. I think she's being used as part of a strategy. It's not out of the kindness of their heart to put her in the House, in the Senate. And not to mention, she's a failure. Why did they pick a failure? Because she's only going to be used as a pawn for an agenda. That's why I can't really celebrate her going into the Senate, even if I wanted to, because I want to support my people when they do something like get into positions of power. But it's just, is she going to actually try to do something for the black community? If not, then there's no point celebrating her. And also, like I said, I think it's a plan by the Democrats, especially Gavin Newsom, to try to get some votes from the black community back into to the Democrat side, because they've been losing the trust of the black community. They've been losing votes, and if the Democrats continue to still lose votes, then he's not going to be able to become president when it's his turn to try to run for president. So yeah, that's what's going on. But that's all I had to say about this topic. I want to know what y'all think in the comment section. Write down in the comment section what y'all think. Make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And hit that notification button. This is J-Dog. Thank you for watching. And I hope to catch y'all in another video. Peace, everyone.